guys, it's your girl Julia Steele coming at you from my studio. Thought I'd do something a little different today. I actually had one of my fans ask me a question yesterday that kind of stuck with me, and I kind of wanted to make a video about it. So he had asked me what was the best pieces of advice that I have gotten, and I actually have several quotes or pieces of advice that I seriously live by every day. And so I thought I'd share them with you, and I'd love to hear your best pieces of advice. What do you live by every single day? So the first one, there's a bit of a story behind it. I was working as a housekeeper in like a hospital type setting, like a nursing home, and I was very stagnant in my life, and that's all I did was just housekeeping part-time. It was a really dull, kind of boring job. Well, I ended up talking to, and this lady is so funny. She's just a really big character, I guess. I called her the crazy laundry lady. I know that's not very nice, but she was kind of out there, and she just said the most oddball stuff sometimes. So one day I ended up having to work with her, and she told me, she said, "Julia, you're too good for this. You need to learn everything you can. You need to get the fuck out of here." She said it just like that. And I'm just like, what? She's just like, yes, you need to learn everything you can. Learn everything and then get out of here. And I don't know, for some reason, I couldn't get it out of my head. And that's what I ended up doing. I ended up doing every single job there. There was laundry, housekeeping, floor tech. I learned everything. I memorized the handbook. And I ended up getting promoted several times, and finally I was a manager of my own building. And that job ended up not working out because my goals had changed and everything, but I had moved from the lowest point to a place where I was pretty comfortable in my life. And it was because of that lady urging me to make something better of myself and not be so stagnant in my life. So that was a big turning point in my life. Because up until then, I hadn't really achieved much of anything. And so me doing that really showed me, hey, you can do this. If you put forth the effort, you can move up, and you don't have to stay stagnant in your life. You don't have to stay sedentary. So that was a big one. So everything I do, I try to just learn as much as I can with firearms, with my YouTubing, with modeling. I've tried really hard to just absorb all the info that I can so that I can move forward and never stop learning, because that's the main point. Once you think you know everything, something comes at you and you get hit with a curveball. So that's my first piece of advice. My second would be never show your full hand. Once MySpace and Facebook and everything came out, I could not stop spilling my guts publicly. And looking back on it, it just makes me so embarrassed because it was just so easy to do. Like if I felt a certain way, I just make a status and post it, and the whole world would see it. And you know, I don't do that anymore. Big reason is because if I were to be maybe excited about something, for example, when I first started doing YouTube, I was so excited. Like, it was just the most fun thing ever. I was meeting a whole bunch of new people. I was doing a whole bunch of things. I started getting little sponsors and stuff like that. So I would write literally everything that was happening to me. If a producer for a TV show called me, I'd write about it. If I got a big sponsor who talked to me, I would write about it. But the thing is, some of those plans just didn't come to fruition. So then I was left kind of looking like a big idiot, like, oh, I just said I was maybe getting this TV show and it didn't happen. Like, you know, it was a little embarrassing. So things like that, I try to keep to myself from now on. And then when I do have a victory, it's just so much better because I didn't have all these little plans laid out that never came to fruition. So that's one part of it. And also, when you're angry or sad or whatever, especially like after a breakup or something, you have that computer and you're drinking some beer, things can come out that you just can't take back. You can delete them later, but what you said never goes away. If you put it on the internet, it's just over. So when I'm angry or upset, I try really hard to just stay off social media. Sometimes I slip, I know, but sometimes you can't get away from social media, especially with me when most of my work is online. It's hard to break away from that, but that is a big one. I have a lot of my friends and people that I thought of maybe working with in one way or another, and they just exploded with a status, and I was just like, I don't really want to work with them anymore. They sound unstable. And, you know, they might be totally normal, but they had one little moment of weakness, and it just turned me off from them forever. So sometimes that happens. So you gotta really just, I'm not saying your feelings are bad, you should keep them to yourself, but think about what you're putting out into the universe. Don't show your whole hand, just like poker. Just keep it to yourself, and what you want to show to the world, you show them that. I'm not saying keep your feelings inside. I'm talking mostly like social media, like stuff like that. And then my third, I have it on my phone because I didn't want to screw it up. This was a big one. And I'm going to use a YouTube thing again because that's what I do, and it's a big part of my life now. It says, if I've learned anything from video games, it is that when you meet enemies, it means you're going in the right direction. I am the most sensitive person in the world sometimes, especially when I first started modeling, I first started YouTubing. Just every little nitpicky thing that somebody said to me made me feel awful, and it was ridiculous because I was doing really, really well. When I first started modeling, I took off really fast. I started getting paid jobs pretty regularly within the first year, and it just took off from there, and nobody seemed really happy for me, and it was kind of just kind of a letdown. I was like, maybe I should stop. I mean, everyone thinks I'm doing so badly, but the thing is, I wasn't. It was just all in my head. It was all them projecting their insecurities onto me. When I first started doing YouTube, I got a lot of it. And when I first started telling people what I was doing with that, really? You're doing YouTube? Oh, what are you even, you're shooting gun? Oh, ooh, that's so weird. And I started realizing that a lot of it was just jealousy, maybe not of what I was doing, but the fact that I was getting out there and I was achieving things and pursuing my dreams, things that I wanted to do forever. And maybe they were a little jealous about that. Maybe they thought that they couldn't do something similar. And so I have to kind of remember that when I have, especially friends, of course I'm going to have little haters on YouTube that I don't even know, who don't even know me. Those don't really bother me that much. But when I have actual friends who come to me and say, you know, I think you're kind of wasting your life. You know, this is a stupid thing that you're doing. I have to remember that it comes from a place of jealousy and insecurity, and it's not exactly a reflection of their thoughts of what I do and who I am. And also, I can't let that get to me, because if I wasn't doing well, no one would be paying attention. Gotta keep that in my head. So I hope you guys remember that. Do not let haters get you down. I know you probably maybe don't have haters like I have haters, you know, girl on the internet, girl on YouTube, but it's everywhere. Haters are everywhere, and when you're doing well or when you're pursuing your passions, you're gonna run into that a lot. So I want you to know that that should be some motivation to keep going, because you are on the right track. That's a big sign that you're doing something right. So I hope you enjoyed this little video. I'd love to hear your best pieces of advice, your favorite quotes that you live by. I live by these 3 every day. Of course, there's more, but these are the big 3. So I love you so much, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful and beautiful day, because you deserve it. And I will see you soon. Peace.